time on Casino Royale with cheese.
And in Japan, there's like a whole dick festival.
Well,
where they walk around with like these 30.
Trying to imagine what a large penis looks like.
Oh.
Sorry, Japanese listeners.
Too
many y'all in Spain. So.
They fucking walk around with like 30-foot long paper mache dicks.
Like they have an entire, I want to say it's like a walking trail up a mountain or something that is completely dick related. Like all the benches are dicks.
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah.
I would like to go to the dick trail.
Would you?
Like walk the trail, sit on a dick. Yeah.
You don't have to go to Japan to do that, brother.
We got a trail out there.
Yeah, there's plenty of trails you can find a dick on.
You find a dick, you just take a seat, all right?
They won't complain.
And now, the conclusion.
Houston, we have a problem.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
A boy's best friend is his mother.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Silent Green is people!
Yo, Adrian! Adrian!
Let's put a smile on that face.
I gotta warn you, Clark. They don't play the same games here as they do at them regular casinos.
Royale, too.
Who likes to masturbate? Yeah!
Live from our studios in Tulsa, Oklahoma, it's Casino Royale with cheese. Now introducing your host with the funny big red nose, Shane Burns.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us here at Casino Royale with cheese. My name is Shane. And, crap, I don't even know what episode this is. 49?
What episode is it?
It's something related.
I can tell you pretty quick. Hold on a second.
All right, Mike's looking it up here. While we do that,
we were not prepared.
Oh, yeah, no. This is a show where we discuss movies that were number one at the box office exactly 20 years ago. My name's Shane. Today I'm joined by the Grinch that hasn't yet stolen Christmas because, he's busy. But this is Shane. Or this is Mike.
Weak burn, bro.
Right. How's it going,
Episode 49.
49. That's what I thought. Okay. So we are just 3 shy of doing a year.
A whole año.
Yeah, that's pretty good. How's it going?
Pretty awesome. The season's in full swing.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
This is coming out on Christmas Day. So.
Mañana.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you guys should all be listening while you're opening your presents around the tree.
Little atmosphere, little ambiance.
Because we are quite the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, nothing says bringing in the holidays like hearing us cuss each other out over Patch Adams. So. Oh, man. This movie is Patch Adams. It was released Christmas Day, 1998. Had you seen Patch Adams before?
I had, and I completely remembered it differently.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I have not. So, what's your take on it from 20 years ago? Do you remember?
What I just thought it was a movie where Robin Williams was a funny doctor.
Okay.
That's all I really remembered about the movie.
Funny doctor.
Yeah, it's all I remembered about the movie.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because apparently the real life Patch Adams actually described Robin Williams' interpretation of himself as quote unquote funny doctor. Apparently Patch Adams in real life was not that impressed with this movie. He said that because Patch Adams is more of a political activist than anything. And so this dude going up there and cracking wise in the fucking, maternity ward or whatever is really just a small part of what he is as a person, So.
Well, I actually, after I finished watching the film, I watched the real Patch Adams TED Talk.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I actually was tempted to watch that because it's on YouTube. He's an interesting dude.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know how much, because I was trying to find out more about the real Patch Adams, like his story and like some of the shit that he's done. I didn't know how much detail he was going to go into with the TED Talk, and so. But why don't you tell me about it if it's as interesting as you say?
I didn't say it was all that interesting. I said I watched it.
Okay, never mind. It sucks.
No, actually, he's a pretty interesting cat. He gets a huge lion's share of the movie. The profits from that movie, he gets a big lion's share of those, and he uses them to go on these trips around the world. Start up like free hospitals and stuff like that. You don't have to be a doctor to go either. Like he'll take you volunteer, and if he does a background check, make sure you're not a criminal or something. But he'll take you on the trip,
right?
And you'll go and hang out with like Russian orphans.
Make sure you're not smuggling heroin or some shit. Your man purse.
Yeah, and you'll go like make Russian orphans laugh. And to say that he thought Robin Williams was just being a funny doctor, well, on his TED Talk, he is wearing a pair of like baggy pants. Yeah. And he says he has 30 toys in those pockets. And he like literally like transitions himself into a completely different character. Oh, wow. Like on stage, that he says he like walks up to strangers when he sees like a mom and a kid like fighting in a grocery store. Mm-hmm. He'll change into this totally different looking thing than himself. Right. And he'll go over there and make them laugh. So I see. I thought Robin Williams did that pretty well.
Yeah. Well, so from what I understand, because I find it interesting you say that he actually got the lion's share of the money for selling his story to make this movie, because apparently he drug Robin Williams through the mud whenever this movie came out. He was really pissed off because I guess Robin Williams made like $18 million or something to be in this movie.
Oh, yeah. I could see that.
And he was like, oh, he didn't give any to me, for my free hospitals and shit. And Robin Williams is like a purporter of, socialized medicine and things of that nature.
Well, he did, what was that damn HBO thing? Him and Whoopi and Billy Crystal did every year?
Yeah.
Live Aid?
Oh, yeah. I don't know anything about it.
Oh, they did like a huge comedy show every year on HBO.
Right.
And it was all to raise money for like medicine in like impoverished countries.
Yeah. So I don't know if like this dude Patch Adams, like the real life one, was just being salty or what, but it sounds like he did pretty well for this movie, so I don't fucking know what he's bitching about, but whatever.
He still doesn't have a regular job. Like he doesn't charge for medicine either.
Fro and just does.
He doesn't charge for medicine.
Right.
Like he says he lives on like $600 a month.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, so something like that. There's a lot of people out there that talk a big game about like, this is how I feel about shit. We should do this and that and the other. But, and I'm not going to go into the politics of it at all, but at least it is refreshing to see somebody that, like, lives by that instead of, like, one of those, they call them, like, a limousine socialist or whatever, where it's like,
like a lot of Hollywood.
We should do all this shit, well, why don't you fucking give up some of your fucking change,
like a lot of Hollywood folks, yeah.
Exactly.
Did you write a clever summary for this movie?
I did.
I want to hear it.
Okay, dokie. Clever, we'll see, but I wrote one. So.
I'll be the judge of that.
Yeah, Mike will let me know. Here we go. Patch Adams Summary is what I called it. Not a very creative title, so we're off to a bad start.
Real bad.
Yeah. Patch Adams, released Christmas Day 1998, details the journey of an obnoxious, fun-loving hippie who learns that if you annoy people for long enough, you soon get everything you want. After a suicidal hunter, quote-unquote, Patch Adams, as he goes by, admits himself into a mental institution, he soon discovers that indulging in fellow patients' delusions is the proper method of treatment for them. He then decides that the bedside manner, not medicine, is the sole component in good physical health. So after leaving the institution, he takes it upon himself to enroll in a medical school. Seems easy enough, right? His utter disregard for authority soon comes to a head, however, as he takes an immediate dislike toward VCU's Dean Walcott. Without any authority or the school's blessing, he soon begins putting on stand-up performances and clown shows for patients at the school, much to Dean Walcott's dismay. It isn't until after decorating an OBGYN conference to look like a woman's crotch that Dean
Hilarious.
Walcott, pretty funny gig. Dean Walcott decides he's had enough and expels Adams, only for him to be reinstated by Dean Anderson. It's around this time that Adams befriends a fellow student, Corinne Fisher, who has no initial interest in associating herself with Adams, but after constant harassment, she caves. As their relationship blossoms, he soon learns that opening a free hospitalization program is his calling. Not long after, he procures a cabin in the middle of the woods and devotes his and his classmates' time to helping people illegally, much like a cult. After a patient with obvious mental difficulties kills Corinne, Patch Adams decides he no longer is going to complete the medical school, then decides he's going to complete the medical school, only to be kicked out again as Dean Walcott has learned of his quote-unquote free clinic. Patch, who is now reinvigorated, decides to address the medical board, who can ultimately decide his eligibility to complete school. After appealing to their good nature and showing all the positive effects of his style of medicine, the board allows him to finish school. At his graduation, Dean Walcott is forced to give Adams his diploma, at which time Adams shows everybody his butt. The end.
Literally.
Yeah. My dad, that was one of his things. If you're going to show me your ass, well, that's what happens. So, but
good job.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. This movie, of course, is your typical Robin Williams affair. Apparently, they had to really rein him in though, because they were trying to tell a story too. It wasn't like we talked about with Good Morning Vietnam, where they're just watching him freestyle and he does hours of fucking shit and they just have to try to like cobble it together in the editing room, you know? Mm-hmm. So, there's that.
They're like, hey, motherfucker, other people in this movie have lines.
Right. We're trying to get some shit done. So, fucking whatever. Let's take a look at who all this movie has in it. I noticed, besides Robin Williams, a couple of people that I was familiar with. First of all, we've got, who is it? Robin Williams, of course. Corinne's played by Monica Parter. So she's lovely.
Yep.
But Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Fantastic actor.
Sober. So there you go. He's sober now.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace. Philip Seymour Hoffman, you're awesome. I ain't gonna throw shade. We got Dean Walcott, who is played by Bob Gunton. Did you recognize him?
I recognize him.
Don't know from where?
No.
He was the dude in Shawshank Redemption that was like the warden of the prison.
Oh.
That was doing all the shady shit.
Yeah, because when I'm
fucking brains out.
watching him beat Dean Walcott, I'm like, I've seen you
Pretty
be a
much the
douchebag
same
before.
dude, yeah.
What did I see you be a complete douchebag on before?
Right. We got Harv Presnell plays Dean Anderson, who only has one scene, but I like it because he plays you saw Fargo.
Yeah.
Yeah. He plays the girl that William H. Macy got. That's his wife that he basically paid those dudes to kidnap. That's her dad in that movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then Steve Buscemi shoots him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good stuff. Peter Coyote shows up in this movie. If you don't remember Peter Coyote, he is the Keys in E.T.
The Keys.
Keys, yeah. The guy with the fucking keys on his thing.
Yeah.
He's the one in like room 305 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill Davis, I guess they call him. So there's a handful of people,
Yeah, there's a couple others too that I recognize some other little things here and there.
Right.
Pretty decent cast though.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to go into some numbers here?
I would love to.
All right. This movie was made on a budget of $90 million, which I'm sure Robin Williams sucked up the majority of.
We said he got $18 million.
Yeah. He kind of, that's like 1/5 of the fucking money.
20% of the money.
Yeah.
Well deserved, I might say.
Yeah. Do you know how well that, how many weeks, money-wise, how it did?
I'm going to say it went 1 week.
You'd be wrong. It went 2.
What?
Yeah, 2 weeks. How much do you think it brought in?
$140 million.
Damn close. $135 and $26,000.
I'm getting it back.
Yep. You were within $5 million, so that's pretty good for just taking a hip shot, So, any thoughts before we discuss some shit that I didn't like, but apparently you thought was pretty good?
Well, I watched this movie way back in the day.
Yeah.
I just remembered it being a funny doctor. I didn't really remember anything else about it.
Sure.
I know that it gets whooped by critics.
It didn't do well. You said that you looked up, I think, a Rotten Tomato, like a tomato meter
Well, I was looking on how to watch it. The copy I had was bad, and so I was looking on how I was going to watch the movie.
Right.
And it shows you what the Rotten Tomatoes meter is on it. It was like 24 or 23%, something like that.
It's not terribly good.
No, it's not good. And I remembered it like being pretty acclaimed for being a bad movie.
I remember because I never saw this, obviously, as I mentioned. And so it was a deal where there was a buddy of mine whenever I moved to Tulsa. And he was talking about how much he really enjoyed this movie. And I was like, really? Because I didn't hear anybody really talk about it all that much. Like, I remember seeing the previews for it, but that was it, you know?
Yeah, so going into watching it, I wasn't really excited about it, you know? I was thinking, okay, he's a funny doctor.
Right.
It didn't do well with the critics, but I heart Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Like, hardcore love Robin Williams.
Right.
The more we watch movies with him in it, and the longer since his passing, the more it hurts for me.
Yeah, I could see that. And it is kind of one of the, especially when you think about it now, because they're doing that new Aladdin movie that's the live action thing or whatever.
Yeah.
They got Will Smith playing the genie.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, Will Smith's a good actor, and he's pretty funny, dude.
I'm a fan.
But he's no Robin Williams.
No
and
one's Robin Williams.
The whole movie, I guarantee you everybody that's seen the original cartoon is going to walk into that movie to compare the genie. And that's basically the gist of it.
Well,
you know?
the genie was the movie.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'll definitely watch the new live action Aladdin.
Yeah. I'm not going to the theater, but I'll check it out.
But the more and more of time that passes between him passing and today, and the more movies I watch with him, the more I just miss him.
Yeah.
I guess I never even realized how big of a fan I was. You know, I always would have said, "Oh yeah, Robin Williams is hilarious."
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Great. I like his movie, sure.
Right.
But now that he's gone, it's like, man, I love that dude.
One thing that I think is interesting, more so than his actual, I guess his movies. I like his stand-up. I thought that there was a lot of dog shit that he put out in the 90s, movie-wise, like toys and shit like that. I was listening to a podcast the other day where they like broke down Mrs. Doubtfire, which admittedly I'm a big fan of Mrs. Doubtfire. Mm-hmm. But they talked about how like creepy the story is in general, you know?
Yeah.
This guy masquerading as a woman and committing fraud and all this
stalking
other
his
shit.
entire family.
Yeah. Really crazy.
It is crazy.
But, and of course at the end they have the whole courtroom scene, which is pretty much like something out of this movie, you know? And he's like, I did it because I love my kids and I'd do anything about my kids and I'm crazy about my kid. And that's at that point that I would be like, this dude needs to, this is no longer a custody issue. We need to determine this man's mental stability, you know, at this point, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And he does a lot. I mean, he's done some really dark stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I
like his dark shit.
What was the name of that movie? I told you about him before.
Insomnia?
No. It's The Life of something.
It wasn't The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I know that.
No, it definitely wasn't that.
That's a good-ass movie, though.
And what was that photo? 1 hour photo?
Yeah, 1 hour photo's great.
Really dark.
Yeah. I know which one you're... The Life of... oh, fuck. I know which one you're talking about. I don't remember what the name of it was. The Life of Garp. World of Garp.
Yeah, The World of Garp. Yeah. That movie is dark.
I haven't seen it. And it's got a pretty big following.
I talked about this before on a prior podcast.
Right.
I think after we watched Good Morning Vietnam. But I'm telling you, man, I watched that movie thinking it was a Robin Williams flick when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And there's some dark shit in it. And I was just like, what am I watching?
You went in expecting Aladdin or some shit.
I don't know what I was expecting.
What the fuck?
His stand-up, he has a stand-up where it was definitely an HBO one. Mm-hmm. There was water bottles involved. Or like they're flying. He's just like spraying water everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what it was called, but I remember laughing my balls off watching them do the stand-up.
I saw the first one that he did after he came back from his open heart surgery, which after his suicide seems like a waste of money, but whatever.
Whoa, you're dark, bro.
But yeah, it was pretty funny. I'd seen some of his earlier stuff, and I didn't feel like it really stood up, to his older shit. But I think that a lot of comedians are like that. Like George Carlin, his earlier shit's way funnier than his later shit. He would just go on like political rants toward the end of his life, you know.
Well, all his stuff was.
Just a cantankerous old man, really.
He always was that guy, though.
He was, but there was less comedy infused into it and more of him just saying his piece, you know. So
I happen to love George Carlin.
oh, he's great. Yeah. If you haven't watched it, go watch Dogma. He plays a priest, and it's fantastic. I'm talking to everybody else. I know you've seen Dogma.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking wonderful.
But yeah, so I came to this movie not knowing really what to expect, but I was excited because Robin Williams was in it. So
Yeah.
What about you?
I went into it not sure what to expect because you never hear anybody talk about it anymore. And so a lot of these movies that are like either classically good or classically bad that we've talked about, like people still talk about like Saving Private Ryan, obviously. Well, this isn't going to be that good. Mm-hmm. But I just went into it with a blank slate, really, you know, because I knew that Robin Williams is capable of making good movies, but he hasn't always made them. So, you know,
Okay.
he's done some crap, but it's fine.
So, you know what caught me off guard? Like as soon as I started watching this movie, do you want to talk about the movie a little bit?
I think we're good with that.
Okay.
We should do that.
I forgot that he was a psych ward patient, like at the beginning of the movie.
It's funny because I didn't know anything, but I knew that part because I had back in the day, I thought it was really funny, but I would get a hold of Mad magazines and stuff like that. And they actually did a parody of Patch Adams. And I got to say, their drawings of Dean Walcott were incredibly like realistic
Really?
for some stupid ass magazine that writes parodies. Like their artwork was great in it. But yeah, they went all into like his psych ward stuff and the thing. So I knew about that at least.
Okay.
But yeah.
There were some guys in the ward that I recognized from other stuff, like his roommate.
Yeah, Edouard Delacroix was, or Delacroix, I guess, was in The Green Mile.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the one that gets fried pretty early. He has the mouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's something about his characters that are just,
It's great.
they're endearing,
He isn't doing. He's an easy guy to like, you know.
I guess.
Yeah. I put on here Robin Williams' 5 O'Clock Shadow because he's got like basically like a half beard going when he's driving in on this bus to this psych ward. Mm-hmm. And I was like, he probably shaved that morning because he was a hairy motherfucker.
Hairy son of a bitch, yeah.
He was. A lot of people say that he had a regular, you know, amount of hair, you know, but I guess they said that he shaved a lot for Mrs. Doubtfire. And so it would start growing like way more. I don't think there's any truth to that. Though. That's old wives' tale.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, his roommate even makes a comment about him being hairy. You're a lot furrier than my last roommate.
Yeah, he does indeed.
Yeah.
I didn't know that dude was in it, so it's good stuff. I like at the part where he's... So this is one of my big gripes with the movie, is it seems like a lot of the time spent in this movie is him seeking the help of somebody. Like he goes to medical school and shows up there and he's like, oh, I know better than all these motherfuckers. And so he pays the people that he's supposed to be learning from zero respect at all. And he does that at the mental institution, which admittedly not very good at what they do. You know, he even tells them at one point like, yeah, well, you suck, you know.
Well, his first therapy session, he's talking to the doctor.
The guy's not even paying attention.
He says he'll use his dick as a pogo stick. And
Right.
the doctor's like, very good. Okay, I think we're making lots of progress here.
Yeah, see you next week. Whatever, yeah. But on the same token, though, is he's showing up to all these different scenes acting like he knows better than everybody, you know? Then, I don't know. I mean, maybe this guy is sitting there stirring his coffee in the psych ward, you know? Maybe that's part of the thing, you know? I don't know, you know? But he's only been there like a day, and he's already like, fuck this place. I know better than these fuckers do. Okay. Why are you being an asshole about it? You came here to get help instead of fucking showing up and being rebellious. Nobody told you to come here, you know? You admitted yourself. You're being a dickhead.
Oh, I totally got a different impression.
Okay. You thought that he thought it was bullshit?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, that's what they're trying to convey. But on the other hand, I was thinking about it. Like, if I was one of the doctors in here and this dude showed up, I would tell him to fuck off. Because he's being fucking rambunctious and disrespectful, you know? But
So authoritative of you.
I guess
I didn't
so.
see that at all, man. I saw it as like he felt like he was wasting his fucking time in there.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the doctor's just there for a paycheck, you know. I thought it was weird that that dude Arthur Mendelsohn, that he's like looking between my fingers or whatever. And
Yeah.
like, yeah.
How many fingers am I holding
Focus on the thing, yeah. I thought it was weird that he got to drink coffee. Because in that scene, he's sitting there like with a cup of coffee. You don't want a bunch of mentally unstable people sitting in a place together getting pumped up on caffeine, you know. But
Is that how he got his name Patch?
yeah, the
Because
guy.
he patched the paper cup?
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't know if there's any truth to that or not.
Chose the moniker based off of one interaction
Right.
where he taped someone's coffee
They
cup.
call me Patch. I thought it was weird that he would call him Patch after that anyway, but whatever.
Yeah. Oh, so the roommate's name was Beanie.
Beanie. Yep.
No. Beanie is the guy in the wheelchair that keeps his arms straight.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of off color for him to sit there and start making fun of this dude that had mental problems. He's sitting there like, oh, look at this fucking idiot that can't put his hand down. Yeah. And they start all like making fun of him in the middle of a therapy
They
session.
weren't making fun of him.
Yeah, they were.
No, they weren't.
They're like, who farted? And the guy like can't put his hand down, and so they're like, oh, he fucking did it, idiot. You know.
Who likes to masturbate?
Oh, they all
raised their
went
hands.
Crazy. Yeah. I almost wanted to raise my hand.
You did. I know you did in the room. You looked around like, did anyone see me do that?
Right. I thought the movie was a little too whimsical. A little bit of whimsy.
You didn't like that?
No.
Okay.
There's some dark themes going on here and stuff. I didn't think that, like the music and stuff, I just didn't think it worked all that well for me. But
So I thought it was really cool because Rob Williams he's dealt with addiction and depression his entire adult life.
right.
And
Very much so, yeah.
I mean, it's well documented even before, he took his own life. And he must have connected with this movie on some level.
I think so. I think that a lot of that too kind of sums up his whole career of him. I get the impression that in his head he had a lot of fucking obvious issues, like you said, with maybe being bipolar and things of that nature. But he wanted to devote his life to making people happy, and I think that this Patch Adams character would automatically kind of appeal to him, because of that. Because that's what Patch Adams does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
For me, I think that's why this movie works for me, man.
Yeah.
I feel like he really connected with what that character was. I hate to hear that the real Patch was pissed off at him.
Yeah.
There's a pretty interesting scene where they go to like a meat seminar.
Do they have meat seminars? That's pretty weird, man.
It's like a Packer seminar or something.
Yeah, I wrote it down. Let me see here what we got.
It was butchers.
Meat Packer Convention,
Yeah.
I think was what they called it.
Yeah.
It's fucking strange.
A whole lot of
They'll
butcher
hold a
puns.
convention over anything, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of butcher puns in the scene. Some pretty good ones.
I thought that whole speech he gave was pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you think that the meat packers were in on the fact that he's never packed meat before?
No.
Which sounds pretty weird.
No.
Because at the end, I thought they were just kind of making him an honorary meat packer,
By giving him the jacket?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I thought so, but I like to later on that he actually wears his meat packing jacket whenever he goes to the fucking
Hospital?
Hospital, yeah.
Yeah, commits some medical fraud.
Yeah, he does do that. You bet. I wrote down, don't eat your fries first. In these movies, and I know why they do it, but whenever him and that dude Truman or whatever go to that diner before they go to the meat packer thing, and he drops down from the tree or whatever to say hi to that old lady.
Oh, yeah.
They bring out his burger and fries or whatever, and he dips his fucking fries. He's sitting there putting them back. I've never done that my entire life. It's always burger first, fries are kind of the thing, But in movies, you can't really say dialogue too well if your fucking mouth is full of hamburger. And so if you want the character to eat, then you got to have something small going on,
I don't know. I know so many people who are monster fry fans.
I love fries, but I never eat them first. So it's fucking weird.
Mighty judgmental of you.
It is. I didn't like how this movie makes a vast majority of these doctors look like dickheads. gone, I don't know very many doctors personally, but I've had several, and most of them were pretty good, I thought, So maybe they're not the fucking life of the party like Patch Adams is, but they're not like this, like, don't give a shit personality,
Well, like Philip Seymour Hoffman, he really
Toward the end of the movie, he actually said, I want to do this shit.
yeah, but he's the embodiment of the man like that Robin Williams is kind of fighting against. Him and the Hodgcut, what the fuck is it? Northcott?
Walcott,
yeah. Him and Dean Walcott, they're in the embodiment of like old traditional medicine.
Right. They're the stuffed shirt old white guys that are, this is the way that things have been the entire time.
Yeah.
And we're not going to start changing them now, and all
Right.
that shit. Yeah. It's fucking retarded. But I mean, I could see people being like that though, because from what I understand, doctors can be a bit of prima donnas. And it's like, no, we're not changing things up.
Was this movie early in Hoffman's career?
Probably.
Because he played a pretty minor character considering like a powerhouse of an actor he is.
But he was great in this movie, though, especially that scene when he chews out Patch Adams' ass, and he's like, I'm taking this shit seriously. You're just fucking off, I thought he was one of the better parts of this movie.
No,
Actually.
I liked him a lot in this movie,
Yeah.
and he was definitely, the yin to Robin Williams' yang.
Oh yeah,
But
bitter irony that they're roommates, So
they're both gone.
yeah,
Really sad.
Well, and I mean that in the movie that they would pair him up with somebody that's the polar opposite of him,
You got to drive a story.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, they did a lot of this shit too in this movie, where there were things that would happen later on in Patch Adams' life, but they threw it into this movie to try to condense it down to this one story.
You gotta do that in movies.
Yeah, from time to time. Do you want to talk about his little girlfriend in this movie?
I would love to.
So I like her character all right. I don't have any real big gripes with her. I did think that it was interesting because apparently that character didn't actually exist.
I was
in
so
Patch
curious
Adams'
about
life.
that.
Yeah, so I guess it was really just like a friend of his, but it was a dude. And Patch Adams isn't a homosexual or anything, so it was like just a buddy. They basically changed the gender of that character just to give him a love interest, to try to like add more gravitas whenever that character died.
As much as I like that character and the role she played, and the actress I thought was really great at the role, I really did. Like, I was watching this movie, like, looking for holes in the movie to, like, kind of tear it apart. But I thought all the actors did really well. They all did, their lines were delivered well. It didn't seem cheesy to me.
Yeah.
And I thought she did a really good job because, when you first see her, she's a beautiful girl.
Right.
And I thought, okay, they got a really pretty actress, but she was great.
Yeah, she wasn't bad.
And
she kind of reminded me of Amy Smart, if you remember her from, like, The Butterfly Effect.
oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. But, I mean, just on a visual level.
Yeah, but to hear that they completely made that character up.
I mean, they didn't completely make it up, but they might as well have.
He didn't have a love interest in real life that died?
No, he apparently, I guess, there's maybe people that he dated that have passed away, but not that particular instance that they're talking about in this movie. No, I guess in I want to say 1969 or maybe like the mid 70s or something like that. I guess he met this one woman that shared his vision of like this free hospital deal or whatever. And so they wound up getting married and then wound up divorcing in like 2003 or some shit like that. Oh,
really?
So, yeah. But that's, as far as I know, the only like marriage that he's had.
Oh.
So, yeah.
If this woman was real in the movie, Corinne's her name?
Yes, sir.
Then he was responsible for her dying.
Absolutely. This whole thing that he sets up, this free medical clinic, the reason I call it in my summary a cult is because that very much struck me as that way. I know this crazy dude that gave me a plot of land. We're going to, quote unquote, practice medicine out of this fucking cabin out here in the middle of nowhere. We see that he has all of like his like medical school like buddies that show up, and they're actually doing work, and then it shows him come out with fucking clown shoes on, and I'm like, he's not doing any sort of medical treatment. He's just basically like playing with slinkies, and fucking making fart jokes, like, and so he comes waddling out, and then he talks about later on, we find out that his buddy Truman is like, yo, we're out of medicine. We don't have any. And I'm sitting here thinking, bing bong, light goes on. That's why there's no fucking free hospitals. Like, you can't buy medicine without some sort of fucking income, you know? And then, like, she winds up dying. And I'm like, well, that's why people that don't know what they're doing don't get to open hospitals, you know? That's all I'm saying. Here comes my wife with the energy drink. Thank
Delivery.
You, baby. Boom,
Coming
boom.
in clutch.
That's what.
Merry
Merry Christmas, baby. But,
well, that was a nice little surprise
that's awesome. Yeah. You guys just witnessed the nicest she's ever been. So, besides bearing me 2 children.
And marrying your sorry ass.
Right. She could have done way better.
Yeah.
She was dating down. So,
You found her on a rebound.
yeah, she was drunk a lot when we were dating. So. Oh, shit. That's funny. But yeah, that's why people that don't know what they're doing don't get to open hospitals, is because motherfuckers die sometimes, you know? And it's funny because they're like, so what do we do with the dead bodies? You know, what if somebody died out there? Exactly. What if somebody fucking died in this cab? Are you going to bury him out back? You know? This whole thing is ill-conceived at best, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and illegal.
That's not bad. Good stuff.
And illegal.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
And the whole idea at the end of the movie that he could appeal to this medical board and be like, hey, you know, I'm just trying to fucking do what I think is right, and you guys all suck. I love how they, like, basically hit him with these reasons why they don't think that he should complete school. And then he'll completely change, like, the subject and be like, oh, well, I think that you guys are wrong because you don't have my bedside manner. And, like, it's just this straw man argument, and he doesn't have any sort of retort to what they just said. And so it's bullshit, basically, you know. And if they found out that Corinne had died because of that little hospital that he was running, they would have shut his shit down immediately, you know. The medical board would have.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, that whole scene leading up to her passing away, it hit me hard.
That dude's a creeper, man.
Yeah.
Whenever he walked into that cabin, I was like, this dude is no good. Bro.
Yeah.
You know, he's bad news.
Yeah, Patch had seen him previously at the hospital for self-harm.
Yeah. Well, and he kind of identified with the guy because he was like, yo, I've been there.
Yeah.
You know? But
my point, though, that he was responsible for... That girl wanted nothing to do with no men.
absolutely. That's what sucked about it because we just found out about her, like, background.
Apparently, to sum it up, she says she was attractive her whole life. And
Men
all
were
the men
attracted to her from very early on.
Yeah.
She says, yeah.
her whole life. She kept stressing the fact that it was her whole life men have been attracted to her.
Right.
So you could imagine that she'd been through all kinds of terrible abuse as a child and even as an adult.
Right. She said she had no interest in dating guys or getting close with any of them. And so then she starts to trust dudes because of Patch Adams. She goes to this guy's house based upon, Patch said, hey, we need to help everybody, And so she goes there, and sure enough, the dude winds up killing her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty terrible. The gyno gag was pretty funny.
I do like that. Although, I will say, I think he's just being a dickhead there.
Shane don't like Patch.
Not this portrayal of him, no. Like, hey, why can't you just do what you're told, At this point, it's not even so much an issue of, there's a better way to do it. It's just you're being a dickhead, He told you what he wanted. He set you up to, decorate this fucking gynecological convention. And, which, once again, they'll have a convention for everything. But, now you're just being an asshole, I think,
But it was funny.
Oh, it was funny. I ain't gonna lie about that. That was pretty fucking funny. Because what they do is they set up this, he puts legs on either side of the door.
Giant legs.
Yeah.
Massive legs.
So basically the door going in is this crotch, of this girl.
Vagina is the word you're looking for, Shane.
Yeah. It would have been better if it was there were curtains going in or something.
Oh, God.
Looked like an Arby's or something.
You know how to make everything creepier.
Get at it, bro.
You're really good at that.
Man, that's fucking hilarious.
This is why I don't take you in public. We do everything one-on-one, hidden in your attic or my master bathroom.
If we do have to go to the convenience store, Just don't say anything.
Yeah,
bro.
we don't talk to each other there.
Mike's standing in the back like, man, that guy was fucking weird, huh? That's funny.
Dude, I'm fucking wiped out. Wow, this fucking holidays.
Mike hasn't been home in what seems like a week.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Better half of one.
Why don't we take a quick intermission from this movie here and talk about the Christmas party that we had? Because me and you both kind of cashed in, man.
Well, we can do that, but we're right there towards the end of the movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he goes to review, tells them all to suck his dick, and they say, cool, you can graduate.
Right.
Then he graduates, shows everybody in there his ass.
Right.
Which in my school, you wouldn't have got your diploma if you did that.
No, sir. They'd have snatched that shit out of your hand.
They give you fake shit when you walk.
Right.
You know, they give you a folder, empty folder.
Maybe not back then, but yeah, nowadays they do.
Guarantee you they did the same technique back then.
I want to talk to about, let's see here. Oh, the old lady from The Wedding Singer and
Oh,
the
yeah, she's
pool
lovely.
full of noodles.
Yeah.
Pretty strange.
That's it. That was his comeback.
Oh, yeah.
After Corinne
When he was
died,
helping her,
he
yeah.
decided he wasn't doing medicine anymore.
Right.
And that's when Hoffman decided, like, no, I still need your help, Patch.
Yeah.
And so Patch's comeback was a pool full of noodles.
Pool full of noodles. Pretty strange fetish for this old lady, but whatever.
And he made it a little... Maybe I'm overly sensitive.
There was some sexual undertones going on in that thing.
When he was, like, rubbing noodles on her and stuff?
Yeah, and she's, like, putting noodles on his head and fucking... That's pretty strange, man.
It did creep me out a little bit.
I also wrote down that... So they go to this... They're supposed to be, like, in this study group. And Patch is there, and he's talking about how, like... He's basically... a lot of this movie is spent about him bitching about, like, the way that things are. And so everybody's trying to study for this fucking test. And then Corinne shows up, and he's like still just bullshitting everybody else, because obviously he read the book, he's memorized everything there is to know about medicine, obviously, you know.
Well, they consistently drive home the fact that he's got like the
He's
highest
just a
grades in the
genius.
class.
Yeah, he gets 98 on tests and he doesn't even have to try, you know, and
Yeah,
all
they
that
accuse
shit.
him of cheating because he doesn't
Right.
study.
And I know that with me, so first off, what he does, Corinne's like, yo, if we're not going to study, I'm out. I can go fucking study on my own and learn more than I am here. And so then he follows her out, basically stalking this poor woman. And then he's like, yo, me and you should fuck. And and then she's like, I don't want to fuck you. And so, like, basically, she's like, look, I'm not here to fucking get married. I'm here to fucking study and be a doctor. There's not very many women doctors, which there are more nowadays. But
Yeah.
back then, it wasn't as
She was
common.
already fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah.
She was like one of 8 women in the whole medical school.
Yeah. And so then she
Which-
winds up getting a 79 on her test. I would be so fucking pissed off at that dude. I'd be like, oh, thanks a lot, dickhead. Oh, you got a 98. Fucking phenomenal, you know? Because you're sitting here distracting me. I was going to go fucking try to learn some shit. But instead you ran me off, and now I fucking barely got a C, you know?
Yeah, you could have...
Dick face.
For her, I think she'd have been more impressed if he actually would have spent the time like helping her prepare.
Yeah.
You know?
That might have been nice. But no.
No.
And then whenever she runs off and she's like, I really am not interested in you. He's like, "Meow." I'm like, oh, so if a chick doesn't want to fuck you, automatically she's like this cold-hearted bitch, you know, essentially.
Yeah, you don't see that in movies anymore.
No, not really. No.
Gesundheit Academy or Institute is a real place.
Oh, yeah.
It is the actual name.
I heard about that.
It is
Apparently
Institute.
they're trying to open a bigger one, though.
They have a few locations, I guess.
Yeah. He tells the dean, basically in not so short of terms, that because he's not supposed to be fucking around. He's only a first-year med student. And so he's really not supposed to be interacting with patients at the hospital.
They jumped to graduation really fast.
Yeah, they skip year 2 altogether. And they're like, year 3, you know. But then, basically, the dean at one point, because he's in there trying to entertain these kids, by the way, like dancing around the room with this cancer patient's IV drip, probably not a good idea. But I digress.
Especially when IVs had glass bottles.
Yeah. Well, especially when it's fucking in somebody's arm, but, you know. But it's a deal where the dean is like, what do you think you're doing? And he's like, oh, well, laughter helps respiratory this and that, and it increases your heart rate and blah, blah, blah. And so basically he says that laughter is the best medicine. And I was like, oh, okay. So he basically has an excuse for why he's acting like a fucking jackass. You know? You just got an answer for everything, don't you, Patch?
He did.
A smart ass answer. I like where 305 fucked him up, like knocked him on his ass.
Yeah. Corinne's killed while right after she gets a private concert of Fur-Elise.
Fur-Elise, yeah.
Fur-Elise, yeah.
She does get killed. But
The crazy guy can play the piano pretty well.
yeah.
You can play that song, huh?
Fur-Elise isn't that hard to play. But
For those who
he's
are
not
listening
bad.
that don't know, Shane is actually like classically trained pianist.
Yeah.
Or pianist.
I actually got a scholarship.
What's
for
it called?
A penis?
No.
I believe.
No, not a penis. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, no, I'm a penis.
Oh, I already knew that you were a dick, but
What are you looking for?
someone
the
who can
word
play a
for?
piano.
Yeah, it's a pianist.
Pianist or pianist?
It varies.
Okay.
Depending on who you're talking to.
Tomato, tomato?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, man, that energy drink.
Do you have
Hit
anything
the
else
spot.
to say about the movie?
Let me check real quick. I was surprised that nobody actually checked out to see what Patch was doing to that gynecological seminar before the seminar actually took place.
Yeah, he didn't.
That's kind of your fault, too.
He didn't just run up to the doors and slap a pair of fucking 70-foot long legs to the sides.
Oh, I was amazed. How did he do that by himself? Because none of his buddies were like, we're not doing that
Were
shit
those
with
things
you.
entire paper mache?
I think so.
Impressive.
That's impossible, but still funny. I thought it was funny that Corinne tells Patch that she was molested when she was younger. And so she wakes up the next morning and he's watching her sleep.
Yeah, I like to watch you sleep.
Probably not how you help a molestation victim is by watching them while they sleep.
That was creepy. Like it
Don't do
transitioned
that.
from I was raped and molested as a child, transitioned right into him watching her
Cool.
sleep.
Don't mind the drool, you know. I wrote down crappy CGI butterfly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looked like shit. Let's see. Oh, I thought that the medical, like, where they're having that hearing, it looked like the same courtroom setting as, like, Pleasantville and To Kill a Mockingbird both, actually, at the end of the movie. Because it had, like, the balcony that, like, went around too. And
It's standard.
Yeah.
It's a standard courtroom.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just passed that fucking set around in Hollywood, actually.
If it's on the lot.
Let's see. Dean Walcott is the bad guy, but they I felt like it would be more effective if I was a bigger fan of Patch Adams. And he never really gets his comeuppance either, you know. But and I also wrote down as my final note is that final song that they play in the movie, The Faith of the Heart, was the theme song for Star Trek Enterprise, the TV show. So
Oh God.
Also, I would be interested to see what that medical board would have thought if they found out that Patch was stealing medical supplies from the hospital. Because I don't think that would have gone over too well.
Yeah, no one even knew about that.
No, he never gets any sort of pecker slapping for that, man. They just, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically my movie. I wasn't a big fan of Patch Adams.
Obviously.
Yeah. Mike liked it more than me, so I guess it's kind of just your opinion on it. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've seen.
I thought it was a heartwarming little story, man.
Yeah.
It was just a guy trying to do good. I think maybe the fact that I might have been influenced by the fact that right after watching the movie, I watched the TED Talk.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a real dude who really does
Right.
care about this stuff.
Yeah. And I do think that Patch is interesting. And, I mean, he does a lot of the same, like his attire and stuff. Like, it's not uncommon if you saw Patch Adams, like, walking around in public for him to be wearing, like, fucking clown shoes or, like, crazy multicolored suspenders, you know? Like, he doesn't, he's...
And floral shirts and parachute pants.
Right, and a curly mustache, you know. And
he does have a handlebar mustache.
looking crazy, yeah. So
long hair with
yeah.
half of it's black, half of it's white.
Right. He isn't faking the funk, dude. He's for real that dude.
Yeah.
You know. So
You should watch the TED Talk. He says in it that literally thousands of doctors want to leave their practices and join with him.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Every year.
They said that there's a waiting list that consists of like 1,000 or more doctors on it. Which I
He
find
personally
interesting.
hand writes responses to every email he gets.
Really?
He gets hundreds.
Huh.
And he hand writes letters back.
Well, I watched a thing with Oprah Winfrey that was an interview, and this is back, 2 or 3 weight loss cycles ago for Oprah. But this must have been in, I want to say, the late 80s or early 90s, and apparently he actually is like a pretty private individual. He was a lot younger back then, obviously, but it was a deal where he wasn't too keen on doing a lot of public appearances and things of that nature, but he wanted to get some word out about his medical practice, basically for people to know so that they could donate and things of that nature. But I guess he doesn't take donations from companies because he doesn't want any part, like the company to have any say over, how they do their shit.
Oh.
So, whatever. So, I don't know.
Interesting.
If you find, if you like Robin Williams, maybe you like this. I mean, I like the dude. I didn't care for it, but, it's whatever. Mike liked it. So,
I did.
Yeah. Anyway, any final thoughts on Patch?
No, let's talk
No.
about the Christmas party.
Okay, Christmas party. I had a good time.
So,
And
just for backstory.
Dirty Santa was a success.
Annually,
Yes.
we get together, a big group of friends, and I think this year was the biggest year.
It was. There was some hubbub about that, actually, because I was always of the opinion, like, yo, the more the merrier. I want to have a good time. And
There was hubbub about it?
A little bit. There was some people like, yo, we usually just have, like, our close, close-knit bunch. And I was like, who gives a shit? It's like 4 more people. What are you making a big deal about? But
Seriously, what are you making a big deal about?
these are our friends, Have them over for Christmas. What are you talking about?
Our close people.
Right.
How weird.
But anyway,
Dirty Santa.
yeah, Dirty Santa. We always do Dirty Santa
Uh-huh.
because I ain't buying fucking 17 presents for
Right.
everybody. Yeah, who the fuck knows what everybody likes anyway? So I cashed in. Mike actually picked out a present that he intended for me. My wife wound up with it, but I got the present for her. So
That my wife purchased.
swippity swap. Yeah, exactly. It turned out good.
Shane got himself a life-sized R2-D2,
Yeah, it's inflatable.
and he's a remote control.
Yeah. But see, the thing about it was when you look on the box, it had a little button for you to push. I didn't think that he actually was, because I didn't really get a chance to look at it because there's a lot going on. I didn't realize that you could drive him around. I thought he just made noises and shit. And so when I found out that you could like make him run around the house and shit, man, that's a fucking cool ass toy right there. I'm a fan.
He's been playing with it ever since he got it.
Ever since. I love it. I had to go buy a fucking 9-volt battery for it. Totally worth it. What about you, Mike?
Got me a leg lamp
Booyah!
from those Christmas Story.
I told Mike if my R2-D2 got stole, that I was going to fucking bogart that Christmas Story leg lamp. But fortunately, it didn't. So
I was so excited to get that lamp.
that's great.
I've always wanted one. I just never had an excuse to spend money on it.
Right. It's definitely a luxury, not a necessity. So, but I don't know, man. It was a good time. And so far, it's not even Christmas yet. And I would consider it a success. So.
Well, after we're done here, I'm on my way to my third Christmas party.
Yeah.
Last night we spent the night with Nicole's sister and my brother-in-law Jared.
You guys know Jared?
Yeah, he was a guest on one of our podcasts.
Good Morning Vietnam. So more
That's
Robin
right.
Williams. Yep.
Yeah. He got his hot tub up and running, and
Hell yeah.
we out there had a few cocktails and enjoyed the hot tub. It was nice.
Yeah.
Way more relaxing than I anticipated last night was going to be. And now we're on our way to Nicole's family's annual Christmas gathering, and they do a Dirty Santa thing themselves.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Had to pick up 2 R2-D2s. So.
No, I didn't get one of those.
No. It's funny. I'm glad I got that because there are other people that were like, we had picked out a pajama set that was Star Wars related that we're going to buy with the intent purpose of you picking that present, and you stealing it or whatever. And I was like, man, I'm glad you didn't because I'd way rather have R2-D2.
Them PJs?
Right.
What'd they end up getting instead?
I think that was the It wasn't the candle thing. It was something else.
The candle.
Yeah. So Cook, which you guys know from Forrest Gump, he got this like candle thing that has like 3 candles on it, or 3 cups that basically hold a candle.
It's a
on
potential
it, like a
for
tray.
candles.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'd put like queso and salsa and guacamole in that and fucking Taco Tuesday it up, you know?
It could be used as that.
It really could. I mean, it wouldn't look out of place at all. So, you know, like a fondue type of night or some shit, you know, who the fuck knows? So.
I mean, I'm down.
But we're going to be there next weekend. So
Cooks.
We're moving our mobile studio elsewhere.
Are we recording there?
I don't know. Maybe.
How the hell are we supposed to do
I don't
that?
fucking know. It's a party.
Yeah, but the playoff game is that night too.
Oh, yeah. That's true. That's going to be a good game.
It's my 40th birthday,
40th birthday.
the 29th of December.
Mike's telling his 30s to go fuck their face.
I'm not getting any older, I've decided.
This is it, huh?
40 will be my last time I get
got you.
older.
All right. If you're born on a leap day, then that would be easier.
Well, you can just do like every other year.
Yeah.
You'd be half your age.
That is true.
I'd be turning 20 this year.
20. Yeah.
Man, that would be way cooler.
You look like a crappy 20-year-old.
Yeah. You tell people like, I'm only 20.
Right? Yeah, a 20-year-old with a 5-year-old. Mike's been busy.
That wouldn't be out of place in Oklahoma.
It's really not. No. It's not a
I got plenty of friends that have full-grown kids.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because my sister, she just graduated from some type of nursing. I'm sorry, Deanna, but you do so much school. It is impossible for me to keep up with what it is you've got going on.
I was there.
Right?
I have no idea.
I
what it
went
was.
and I was proud of you, but golly, because I was like, so you're what, a RN now? And she's like, no, but I still have to do that. Well, what did you just do? And she explained it to me, and I was like, well, good job, I guess, you know, proud of you. But, you know, there's this woman that was up there and she was talking because they, during the graduation, they got these little pins or whatever for their nursing shit. And they each wrote like this little like paragraph long thing talking about, you know, their schooling experience or whatever. There's a woman that went up there and she was talking about like, you know, it really wasn't easy for me to complete school whenever I, had my first child at 16 or whatever, and I was like, probably would have omitted that actually. Maybe not brought that up.
She was proud of herself.
Just seems kind of personal, you know. Whatever. I mean, I guess I'm proud of her too. Yeah, I don't know this person.
You
but
go,
whatever.
girl.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm proud of anybody that can fucking go to school and be a single parent, you know. So, but
I just realized both of our Dirty Santa gifts are movie related.
yeah, they are.
How appropriate.
It's good stuff. Mine's a franchise. So
You keep
I guess
eyeballing mine.
I guess they made the Christmas Story 2 as if anybody could possibly care.
Never seen it.
Oh, it's horrible. I watched it just out of curiosity. My standards were low, and I was still disappointed. So,
I'll just put out this for the friends. Next year, I'm expecting a Red Ryder BB gun.
oh yeah, yeah.
Make it happen.
Instead, you'll get a football, like in the movie.
I like footballs.
Yeah. You should go tell Santa that. Let's see what he's got.
I think it's late in the game.
No, I mean for next year.
Oh.
Yeah, Santa will be around.
He's already made his list.
Yeah, no, he's checked it twice. He's probably on the 3rd check by now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm definitely on the naughty list.
Could have told you that.
I have way too bad of a potty mouth.
I told my daughter that if she didn't start straightening up, then I was going to leave the fucking fireplace on for whenever Santa comes down.
Dude, Shane's been threatening to throw her Christmas presents into the
I've been
fireplace.
fucking with this girl so hard.
The whole. What are you gonna do December
I have
26th?
no idea.
All of December, you've
You'll be
been,
Easter Bunny now, motherfucker.
you've been holding fucking Santa over Madeline's head all December. What are you gonna do on the
I've been
26th?
doing this since like October, bro.
Cupid's watching.
Right? Cupid. He's got a fucking. He's an archer. Like, boom, right in the eye. What are you gonna do? I have no idea.
You're fucked.
It's gonna be funny though. I'll figure something out.
His 6-month-old, he's like threatening to spank him all the time.
Oh yeah.
Will just has no idea what you're even talking about. He just
Oh,
looks at
man.
you with his big old
Right,
eyes like,
what's up?
Spanking.
Just shoot me a smile like that's dad for you. Yeah. Fucking, it's amazing that he's 6 months old already, man. But
It is pretty crazy.
yeah. He's a good kid, though. He was sick this week, and I think that, honestly, me and him had a chance to bond because it's one of those deals where spent a lot of time holding that little dude. So, me and him are on good terms.
Good.
But as if you guys care.
Yeah, nobody cares about
Nobody gives a shit. What did you watch this week, man? Anything?
I did. I watched a couple of things, but one really stands out because I was really looking forward to seeing it. It's something I'd heard about for a long time. It's been out for a few years at least. But it's got a star-studded cast. I heard great things about the movie, but I never saw where I could watch it, ever. And then it appeared on Netflix.
Ah.
It's a movie I think you're familiar with, and from what I hear, you're a pretty big fan of.
What's that?
A Place Beyond the Pines.
Oh, man.
Starring Ryan Gosling, Eva Mendes, who I adore.
Eva Mendes is phenomenal. She's a great actress, and she's gorgeous.
Yeah, and
Which they're married in real life, so I can imagine
What?
their kids are...
Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes are married?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How long have they been married?
I think they met on that movie.
How was I not invited to the wedding?
Right?
This is absurd.
Mike's the one that's like back there like, I protest to this.
No, I'm down.
No, man, their kids have got to be fucking beautiful.
Not
though, man.
fair.
Right?
Not fair at all.
But it had Bradley Cooper showed up. One that I love was, I don't remember the dude's name. He's the one that owned the fucking, the bike repair shop or whatever. He's a great actor, and I see him pop up. He was actually in Rogue One. He was the one that was like the one that was in charge of building the Death Star. He's actually British, but I never would have guessed it because he hides that shit really well.
He plays like white trash real well.
Really well.
There was another series.
He was on a TV show.
Bloodline?
Yeah. And he plays like this
The
fucking
fucked up brother.
Yeah, and he like is consistently like robbing people and shit.
He's a drug addict.
The family doesn't want anything to do with him, and he plays this white trash dude just incredibly,
Yeah, he's the same guy from Place Beyond the Pines.
Place Beyond the Pines is a great movie though.
I did not know what I was getting into. I knew it was good.
Right.
I knew it consisted of Ryan Gosling, Robin Banks on a dirt bike.
Right.
That's what I knew.
Well, it's funny because I tell people kind of what the plot's about, but that's a small part of it, man.
Tiny.
It's really more so a relationship about fathers and sons, I think, and like the legacy that you like leave for your children and things of that nature, There's a lot of fucking subtext in that movie.
Really good movie.
But it was definitely, I don't know what year it came out, but it's probably one of the best ones of that year, I would say.
The Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes' son in that movie, he is actually in...
Dane DeHaan?
Yeah, he's the kid from Chronicle.
And Spider-Man 2, and Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, yeah, he plays the Green Goblin, the
whatever.
Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
But he's great in Chronicle, too.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's kind of too bad, because I think that a lot of times people see his acting chops, and they kind of give him, like, they're like, yeah, be in this movie. And so I think that maybe he's not too discerning of the things that he's in. But I think that his acting skills are quite good, So, but
Plays a pissed off dude really well.
Yeah, he does. Especially toward the end of that movie, he's pretty tied up. But
I don't want to give away any parts of it.
No, I really don't.
It's on Netflix. If you guys want to watch
Check
a
it
fantastic film,
Yeah.
it's like a 2-hour and 10-minute runtime.
Right.
It's really fun.
Well, something I've always said about Ryan Gosling too was that I think that with him, he plays a really good. Like emotionally withdrawn character, and I think that he really nails it in this movie.
So good.
So yeah,
I was really impressed with the movie.
Yeah.
A movie I think Nicole and I are going to check out tonight while we're waiting on Santa to arrive. After we took Farrah in, I think we're going to watch that Bird.
Oh, the Bird Box.
Bird Box.
With Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, I've been hearing
wonderful things about it.
It's only been out like 3 days.
Yeah,
I've been hearing all kinds of
There's
stuff.
There's a lot of fucking. A lot of whispers about that thing, man.
And tomorrow, Nicole and I have been planning with Farrah. This is all Farrah's idea, actually. That she wants to go watch Bumblebee.
I've heard good things.
Me too. It's supposed to be, I guess, Bumblebee's kind of origin here on Earth.
Yeah, it takes place in the 80s, apparently.
Sweet.
I don't know anything about what the movie's about, except that Bumblebee is a fucking robot. But I do know that I think that I'm kind of down for the animation they did on Bumblebee. He has more of a look like he did in the cartoon, more so than he did in like the later Michael Bay Transformers.
Are you the one
movies.
who told me that it's way more based on like the G1 comic or the G1 series?
I don't know anything about Transformers. Really. I thought.
I think Preston told me that actually.
Perhaps. I saw the original Transformers movie, the animated one, but that's all I know about like Cybertron and all that shit.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. And that even then was when I was a kid.
Did you watch anything this week besides every Christmas movie ever made?
One that I watched today, actually, while I was spiffying up the house, because we're doing Christmas here with my folks and sister and all that stuff, was It's a Wonderful Life, Jimmy Stewart. I'm not crying, you're crying. That is such a great movie, man. It gets me in the feels. And I have even though I've seen it 1,000 times, whatever, it's still like Jimmy Stewart's great in that movie.
It's a timeless classic.
It is. You've seen it, I assume, yeah. Jimmy Stewart's one of my favorite actors, so, you know.
People don't know Shane is like fucking Father Christmas himself.
Oh, yeah.
He loves this holiday.
Oh, God. More so than anything. And the thing, it's almost over.
I got another year to go, buddy.
Yeah, I'll get started the 26th, I guess. No, he's great. One thing that I've always kind of appreciated, because people talk about that being a Jimmy Stewart movie, but I actually really think the woman that plays his wife in that movie does a great job, man. Because, you know, obviously Jimmy Stewart, he was married forever and had one wife or whatever, but the way that they convey that relationship is really believable in that movie, you know. So it was pretty good.
Was it his real life wife in the movie? Oh, okay.
Nope.
Fuck that movie then. Ryan Gosling and Evan Mendes are really married.
Yeah, they are, and they were great in that.
They were.
Even though we don't really get to see them together. But
one time.
Yeah, when they're eating ice cream.
No.
Well, they were getting it on. If you want to see her boobies, go watch Training Day. She whips them boobies out in that movie. Because remember, Denzel Washington and her were like getting it on. So
there's another movie she did was like Heat of the Night, or
that's old. That's a different thing. I'm pretty sure.
Night something.
Night.
She's with like a gangster.
Oh, I know she's in that thing, Ghost Rider.
She's in Ghost Rider.
I think so. Yeah,
Ew.
the first one.
Ew.
But yeah, that was a dog shit movie. Mike's looking up.
Eva Mendes movies.
Just look up Eva Mendes boobies. Yeah. Just
no,
Google
not
it.
boobies. Movies.
Oh.
Shame.
I'll look up Eva Mendes movies after this is over. See what we got. So, but no, Training Day is good. In spite of, I mean, the boobies are the icing on the cake. So you know.
Shane.
The icing.
You ashamed of yourself.
Right. Ryan Gosling, just ask him. He'll tell you all about him.
We Own the Night.
We Own the Night. I've heard of that. Never saw it.
Good movie.
So, it is good.
Yep. Joaquin Phoenix and Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, I love Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. That's who Eva was with in the movie.
Oh, okay. Joaquin. Do you remember that whole thing when they were talking about him? Yeah, like quitting acting. And
He even came on like the fucking Tonight Show with David Letterman and like.
I guess it was all like an April Fool's joke. Because I remember hearing about it. I was like, oh, that's kind of too bad because he was a good actor.
He was preparing for a role.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what role it was.
I have a hard time seeing him as a different actor, and it has nothing to do with his acting. But because of his like cleft palate, like scar or whatever, it always kind of draws me out of him trying to portray something else, you know?
Except for when he was, what's his name on Gladiator?
Yes. What's that fucker's name? It wasn't Lucius or whatever. But
I'm not looking him up.
Yeah, no. Gladiator's good too. Watch that.
Yeah.
I have the fucking VHS right there.
I
don't have a VCR, but I have the fucking tape for it.
That's hilarious.
But and RoboCop 3. So
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
This was a number one movie for more than 1 week.
It was 2 weeks.
So what are we watching next week?
Well, my friend, I don't know if you remember back to October. We watched a little movie called John Carpenter's Vampires. Yeah. So I mentioned at the time that John Carpenter had done some other stuff that was pretty good.
Yeah.
One that I remember paying special attention to was a collaboration between him and Rowdy Roddy Piper. who also I share a birthday with. I think I mentioned that on here before.
You have.
We're gonna watch They Live as our first movie of 2019.
They Live.
They Live. Yep.
Not familiar.
Well, you're about to be. So I'm anxious to see your opinion because, like, if I sat down with my wife and watched this fucking movie, she would be like, "Oh my god."
Well, don't tell me anything about
Get me
it.
outta
I'm gonna
here.
go into it cold.
I know that Preston's a fan, so
I want to go into this cold.
fair enough. Fair enough. To me, whenever it comes to John Carpenter movies, I would say that it's The Thing first, and this one's a close second. It is great. I like it.
Cool.
But you might not. You don't like Star Trek, so
The good news is you guys don't have to wait a whole week for our next episode.
no.
We got a treat for you guys.
Yeah.
We have scheduled our own little New Year's Eve show
New Year's Eve.
where we are going to discuss so we did about a year's worth of movies this year, but a lot of them are multiple number ones. Titanic was number one for 10 weeks of our show. So we picked a lot of movies. So we're going to discuss the top 5, our favorite 5, and our worst 5, least favorite 5
Right.
of 1998.
Yep.
That actually came out were number one movies in that year. So it whittles the list down from 50 down to I think it was 27 number one movies.
27. I think you're right.
So we're going to talk about what our favorite ones and our least favorite ones were. Should be fun.
Should be. I've made my list. Have you made yours yet? Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm going to say I'm surprised. I would have guessed it was going to be Godzilla, but nope.
No. Spoiler alert, Godzilla's not on either one of my lists.
Mine neither. So I guess I didn't hate that much as I thought. If you guys remember, I saw Godzilla and Lost in Space in a double feature. And oh my god,
Worst movie experience ever.
what's really sad is up until we watched Lost in Space this year, I recall thinking like, it's probably not very good, but it's fun,
You just like space movies.
I'm kind of a sucker for it, but I'm also not, blind to the fact that some of these are shit, So, but so there's that to look forward to.
Yay.
Final thoughts?
I look forward to the New Year's show.
Yeah,
Should be a good time.
should be good. And if you guys want to check it out there, you can always check us out on a Cheesy Movie or Casino Royale W Cheese, all one word, on YouTube or anywhere you get your podcast from, iTunes or Podbean or whatever. You can also look at us on Instagram at Casino Royale W Cheese, all one word. You can shoot us an email if you'd like, cheesymovie@yahoo.com. Like us on Facebook, Casino Royale with Cheese, all separate words. Twitter, Casino Royale WCH, still haven't fucked with it. So,
Be the first to post.
yeah, maybe we will in 2019. So,
Probably not.
but yeah, no, probably not. In any event, I think that's going to do it for me, my friend.
That's all I got, brother.
All right, everybody. Well, Merry Christmas once again. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
I'll be back.